Pfizer didn't just cash in on the COVID vaccine frenzy, they bet big on what would happen next. A global surge in turbocancers. And they made that $43 billion bet right as the mRNA vaccine started cutting people down. Coincidence? Not a chance. The brazenness of this is staggering. They took their windfall, the tens of billions made of rushed experimental shots, and funneled it straight into their next goldmine, turbocancer. They knew what was coming because they helped create it.
In the US alone, 1 in 3 people will receive a diagnosis of cancer in their lifetime. That likely means you or someone you know will someday face this devastating disease. That's why Pfizer is going all in on cancer. We have the game-changing science and scale to take on this disease. And now, with the addition of Seagen, a world leader in a powerful cancer-fighting tool.
But here's the thing, we don't have to play their game. We don't have to roll up our sleeve for a cancer mRNA jab and stay trapped in their sick cycle of cause and profit. We still have a choice, and we still have power. This is the fight for our future, and it starts with the truth, with education. Because you can't heal what you're not allowed to understand. Cancer doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It takes hold when the immune system is deliberately overwhelmed by parasites, mold, toxic metals, and engineered viruses. And yet, every time somebody gets close to the truth, they're silenced like Dr. Ruthman, discredited like countless holistic heroes, or worse. Why? Because a healthy population doesn't make big pharma money. This isn't just neglect, it's by design. A system built to profit off disease, not cure it. The longer we ignore what's really behind the cancer epidemic, the longer we stay trapped in their cycle of controlled sickness.
Going back to the root of all cancer, which is a metabolically healthy cell becomes metabolically sick, even though we rarely know exactly what caused it. I mean, if you had a massive poison exposure or a massive amount of radiation or something, we can usually pinpoint what caused it. There are cancer diagnoses as, idiopathic, unknown origin. But the more I get down the rabbit hole of parasites, mold, mycotoxin, metals, and viruses, the more I realize a lot of these have a common origin. That's like the hub of the wheel. If you could just eliminate those 4 things, you're probably getting to the root of what wore your immune system out in the first place and allowed that circulating tumor cell to slip by.
The media have bent over backwards to protect their big pharma paymasters, launching a coordinated smear campaign against ivermectin, one of the safest, most studied, and even Nobel Prize-winning drugs in existence. They've mocked, censored, and tried to cancel anybody who dared to speak the truth. And in doing so, they've only embarrassed themselves. Remember when CNN altered footage to make Joe Rogan look sick? Just because he didn't get the vaccine and took ivermectin instead. The truth? He felt better in 24 hours. Think about that. They didn't want him cured. They wanted him compliant.
And it turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything.
Despite the media's relentless smear campaign, the truth is far from toxic. Ivermectin is a powerful natural compound. It was originally derived from soil bacteria. And for generations, people got trace amounts of these anti-parasitic agents just by eating fresh vegetables straight from the garden. But not anymore. Our food is sterilized, our soil is depleted by aluminium and heavy metals, and our immune systems are under siege. We're being attacked from all angles, and starved of what once kept us resilient. And that's no accident. Big Pharma, aided by their media enforcers, want you dependent, hooked on a medical system that treats symptoms but never cures. Ivermectin threatens that model. That's why they fear it.
We can never give somebody a pharmaceutical. We can never, if it has anything to do with big pharma, we can't even look at it. We were closed-minded, and we learned a big valuable lesson because never be closed-minded. Always explore and do your due diligence and do your research on everything. And I did. I was the one that did the research on ivermectin and found out that it is a natural product. It was it's in the soil. It's actually produced by a soil-based microorganism. And if I wouldn't have taken that time and effort to do that, I would have blocked it out of my mind. So I am a proponent of ivermectin. And the reason I am is because we used to get it naturally when we had our gardens and we had the soil and we had the soil-based microorganisms in there. And when we ate it, that bacteria would go in and it would naturally release ivermectin into our systems.
As Robert F. Kennedy Jr. explains, Big Pharma had $2 billion at stake, and their entire empire relied on discrediting ivermectin. For them, it was never about public health. It was about profit, protecting a system that thrives on sickness, not healing. The reality? The health of their customers was never the priority, only the bottom line. Need proof? Just follow the money.
And I feel, honestly, even though I was in the center of it all, I felt very fortunate because I can have no questions about how it actually works, how the system actually works to go against people that are dissenters. I can have no questions because I was in the middle of it. I saw it. I saw it happen. I saw the CNN thing where they made my face yellow and said I was taking horse medication, which is that to say that and to repeat that over and over again is such a clear indication that they conspired. It's such a, because it's uniform. It's horse dewormer, uniform. A medication that's used far more often on human beings. It's been prescribed for
billions.
Yeah, it's insane. And the fact
and won the Nobel Prize for efficacy in humans.
Yeah, in humans.
Yeah.
It was wild. It was just wild.
They had to do it. They had to discredit ivermectin because, you know why? Because there's a federal law. The federal law, the emergency use authorization statute says that you cannot issue an emergency use authorization to a vaccine if there is an existing medication that has been approved for any purpose that is demonstrated effective against the target illness. So they had to destroy ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine and discredit it, and they had to tell everybody it's not effective, because if they had acknowledged that it's effective in anybody, the whole $200 billion vaccine enterprise would have collapsed.
The ghouls at the World Economic Forum have openly warned us. Big Pharma's industrial complex has a slew of injectables lined up, designed for every ailment under the sun, including the cancer caused by the very mRNA jabs they pushed in the first place.
There is an ongoing challenge and opportunity, and I think that is not just about COVID. It's about the fact that we are going to have a whole slew of new vaccines, injectables, that are going to deal with some of the worst diseases in the world, that give us the opportunity to make big changes in the health of the world.
Think about that for a moment. They're not just offering solutions, they're creating a market for lifelong sickness. And you can bet they're going to profit at every turn. So what's it going to be? More mRNA shots, leading to cancer and every other condition your Big Pharma-sponsored doctor is paid to convince you that you have? Or a powerful, Nobel Prize-winning affordable parasitic blitz that'll leave you as fit as a fiddle and healthy as a horse? I know which path I'm choosing. Hear the people's voice. We're determined to continue exposing the crimes of the elites, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, tell your friends and family about us, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. We can't do it without you. Today's video is brought to you by IPv6ers.